Now, last thing I'm fucking doing today, because this stream has been so long and I'll just keep the other segment for something separate. How the US economy went from booming to a recession scare in only 20 days. Analysis by Matt Egan, CNN. Well, last time I checked CNN, you came up with multiple fucking articles about a lot of different fucking cabinet picks by the Trump administration and how they're unqualified. So, Matt Egan, what are your qualifications for being able to determine the US economy went from booming to a recession? Because it in fact did not. Right? Just 20 days ago, the US stock market was sitting at all-time highs. The US economy appeared to be growing at a solid pace in a recession was nowhere in sight. Wow. Man, 20 days ago? Shit. Last time I checked, 20 days ago was almost, in fact, like already 20 days into the Trump administration, which means that the US stock market sitting at all-time highs and the US economy appeared to be growing at a solid pace and a recession was nowhere in sight, was because of Donald Trump. Okay? Now the R word is seemingly everywhere. No shit! Because the left are the ones pushing fears of a recession on the American people, which causes the American people to believe a recession is coming, which causes them to sell off their stocks, short stocks, stop spending their money because they're fearful of a recession, because the leftist media are the ones who keep telling them there's a recession, because they keep posting images of the fucking stock market. Let me tell y'all something. The stock market is not a good indicator for the US economy. And right now, you're going to see reductions in price values, okay, of the stock market, because people are selling off their stocks because the left is saying that there's a recession happening, because they're showing images of the stock market fucking having its values reduced. Right? You see all this red on the board? People see red. We're trained. We are trained, right? Naturally, right? Red is already a color that sends up alarm signals to human beings, period. Right? Red in nature is a very alarming color. That is why it's used as on stop signs and stoplights. Right? And then you are trained through society to recognize red as dangerous. Right? Enemies in video games, right? Their names or their titles are highlighted in red. Like friendly is green, right? It's fucking everywhere. Red is deemed as bad, green is deemed as good. So when you see a board and it's listed all red, we're already societally trained to go, oh my God, this is bad. It's terrible. It's all red. It's all red. Red just shows that it's reduced. And of course it's going to reduce, because now companies are starting to have to restructure to incorporate the use of fucking tariffs. Okay? Because either people are selling their stocks because those businesses are starting to restructure to come back to the United States, or they're selling their stocks because the companies are no longer going to be as profitable because there's higher tariff rates on them. No shit, right? That's the intent of the tariffs. It's to force domestic side manufacturing to help improve the fucking economy. All right? That's the point. You guys act like international trade has always been a thing, or that countries have always traded with each other. No, the fuck they haven't. For a majority of human history, every fucking society, every nation on planet Earth basically handled all of their manufacturing and all their needs domestically. Importing was used for extravagancies or things you simply can't get in that nation. Oh, like you want a certain type of food from a certain country? Well, obviously that doesn't exist in your country because you're not that other country, you're your country, so we import it and it costs more. But then they started outsource production to places like fucking India, Mexico, and China because they exploit fucking cheap. Mexico's more cheap labor, China's more slave labor, India's more cheap labor, right? Kind of deal. So they're the ones pushing the recession, and then Like, they're the ones pushing the recession, then claiming there's a recession, and then validating that there's a recession because of the claims they pushed about there being a recession that are causing a recession. How does that make sense? But this is what the left does. They create these fucking issues. They create these issues so that then they can spread. They start a narrative. Based off the narrative, they create the issues so then they can validate the narrative, and then they can use that as fucking kudos for they were right or something like that, when they're the ones who caused it in the fucking first place. Leftists all across the US have done very organized sell-offs of certain stocks to hurt companies, and they've also done organized boycotts already of companies who have gotten rid of DEI programs in order to hurt their fucking bottom dollar. So when you see these stock prices going down, leftists are a big factor into why these stock prices are going down. And then they claim that there's a recession, but it's because of them. They're the ones fucking doing it. It's that plain and simple. It really is. Right? Why is Tesla stock going down? Maybe because the left is organizing fucking destruction of Tesla property, and leftists are attacking Tesla vehicles and throwing Molotov cocktails through the windows of Tesla dealerships across the globe, not just in the United States. Then they're having fucking protests in Germany where they're flying swastikas and shit like that because the leftists are actually the fucking Nazis in Germany today, right? Like, let me tell y'all something about Nazis. Nazis were socialists. The only thing Nazis had in common with people on the right is that they were nationalists, right? Which is them being patriotic for their country. They put their country first. Everything else about the Nazis was fucking socialist. They were the Socialist Workers' Party, right? They believed in socialism. They structured their government and their country after socialism. Leftists are the ones who want to structure their government and their country after socialism. The only thing leftists don't have in common with Nazis, right, is that they fucking don't like the country that they live in. They're not patriotic. That's it. Everything else, their ideologies, their practices, all align with Nazis. Leftists in Germany are Nazis, and they're openly flying fucking swastikas and stuff like that to try to say that Elon Musk is the Nazi. So of course Tesla stock is dropping because people are like, oh my God, I got to sell my. It starts off with some people selling their Tesla stock, right? Because liberals will buy up a bunch of stock. They'll artificially increase the price of the stock. Then they'll start to sell it all at once so that one, they can make money. They're shorting the stock. And then also, they can trigger people to be fearful of a stock drop, and people don't want to lose their money, so then they sell their stocks, which then it becomes a domino effect. That's the issue with the stock market, right? They're the ones causing it. They're like, oh my God, Elon Musk is so terrible. That's why his stocks are collapsing. No, it's because y'all are terrible people and intentionally trying to collapse his stocks. That's why his stocks are fucking collapsing. It's that plain and simple.